welcome to another episode of Enmity Podcast. This is episode 20, and we are happy to bring it to you. Anyways, we have a great episode for you tonight. It's me, Raging Rondo, with Big. We're the only two hosts tonight. We're lonely. It's just how it is. But we got a good episode for you. We got the Rakghoul event, and we're going to talk about the GSF stuff that's coming out, the patch notes. Some good information we got this week. Before we do that, we're brought to you by Ultra Sabers, which is the leading dueling lightsabers, and you can get them by going to our website and clicking in the top left hand corner where it says Ultra Sabers. So if you want to buy one, you can go ahead and support the cast while you're doing it. And if I'm not mistaken, if so 42gaming.com/saber will get you to ultrasaber.com, and you can help us out from there too if that's easier for you to get there.
Also brought to you by Amazon Prime. What you can do is you can go ahead and go out to our website, 42gaming/prime, and sign up for Amazon Prime's free trial. It's a free 30-day trial, and what it does is it gets you access to free second-day shipping from Amazon. So you get a lot of good deals on products, and like me, I hate waiting for things to get there for a week or so, coming to the standard mail. So getting things in 2 days is pretty cool, and then you get also access to a lot of movies and TV shows as well. So go ahead and check it out, 42gaming.com/prime.
Yeah, so this week we had a good release. We had the Rakghoul event that came out, and we were out there on the first day, and we were just out there killing Rakghouls, killing Republics and everything. How was your first week in the Rakghoul event, Big?
Oh, I'm loving it. I mean, I think the main thing everyone loves is just getting the infection and running around and trying to infect other people. So, I've been having a blast with that. And I don't know if everyone knows about the little perk you get for going to the VIP lounge. That if when you're in your second stage, you can just dive bomb and it'll make you instantly explode. And so yeah, it's a nice little perk for having the VIP lounge and cutting your farming your achievements in half by 10 minutes.
I
So
feel I
I've been
feel like
staying up there
that's
quite a while. And
what normal not normal human beings, but somebody who is like really upset and they're like, "Oh, all is lost. I'm gonna take everybody with me," and they just jump off right where people spawn in if they use their fleet requisition pass. That just seems like just the thing somebody would do, you know. Such a.
yeah, I mean, it just makes for other good times, in raid. We started raid the other night, and so I came in there all sick and was able to infect more than half the raid and be able to get my daily achievement. So that was another way to knock it out.
I'm sure they
Got
enjoyed
little
that,
shouts for.
right into raid and just to get that sickness. Did you offer them the ability? Because I mean that'll mess with you. Really, it'll make it so that you can't. While you're casting, it'll interrupt you. So did you guys make sure that you were all good before you started
Yeah,
fighting?
I offered them my ribbon statue so they could buy it and vaccinate themselves. Because the plague's gone around. It's your duty to the Empire and Republic to keep yourself vaccinated.
That's true. So you know what? I'll be honest with you. I only did the Rakghoul plague on the first day. I only did the Rakghoul event on the first day. Does that make me bad? I can't find any reason to go out and do it more than once a week. It's too repetitive
No,
for me, I think.
well, I mean that's the good thing about these recurring events is you can take your time with them. You can grind out all your reps so you can have it maxed out in 4 or 5 weeks, or you can take your time and look forward to getting your rep over a year. I mean, so it's each their own. Same thing. I did them a couple tunes the first day, kind of got burnt out, and did them on one tune the next day, and then after that it's same thing. They do offer a lot, and again, I've had a lot of fun with just the plague itself, and nothing more than that in the event. I mean, again, just running around infecting people. I plan this weekend to go around to the low-level planets and start infecting some of the
Oh,
the
nice
new
guy.
players so they can get a taste of it.
Okay, so here's my thought process on this. I just don't feel like dailies are being done very well in mini games. So we got the Rakghoul event, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I've been having a blast actually exploding on people, and so that's actually fun for me. But actually going out there and doing the dailies, to me, it's just like it's almost like too much work. Um, I don't know what it is about it. I just cannot seem to get into doing something like that on a daily basis. But I started thinking about, well, what could they do to make somebody like me want to go out there more than once? And so I was starting to think about it big, and what about either tiers that you have to do in order to in order to unlock more, you have to be at a certain level of reputation with them. To me, so yeah, they do that once. Like you got to get the first tier just to do the boss, right? But I don't feel like that's really enough. Unlocking, so if you go out there and in order to get more of that Rakghoul storyline unlocked, you have to get to a certain level of reputation with them. I think that it gives people more of an incentive to keep going out there to want to unlock the storyline. The fact that I don't feel like there really is a storyline. I mean, I feel like I'm going out there, I'm killing rat ghouls, and like, but where's the story? And this is supposed to be such a story driven um, game. I just don't feel like they on these events that they've been bringing it story wise for the gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I mean, especially for an event that's going to be reoccurring, they kind of only have to put the effort into it once. So, I mean, it would be nice, the second, third time around for them to go back and like you said, possibly add something like that, a little more story to it. Because yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, once you get your perks and you do your rep, uh, I mean, unless you really need the dailies for the comms or for the for the credits, there's no real other reason. I mean, I can see other people who do need to earn some credits to augment their gear, and for them, it's a different set of dailies that they have to go out and do. Um, anyways, so might as well do something a bit different for the event. Um, yeah, I mean, same thing. I was disappointed with the story a little bit. I mean, there was a little bit, but it just seems a bit brief. Just the kind of announcement of it. Um, Kind of like the same thing with a Gree event. I mean, you kind of get a little bit of an intro into it, and you go out and do it, and so it would be nice. And that is an interesting idea about having an actual content based on possibly your reputation.
Yeah,
Because then
because
same thing, you'd
because
be
I
able
was
to get
like,
the
what
first
if
week.
what if like you get it all done and you think, oh well, we've cleared this area, and then a hole forms in the back of the cave, and you realize, oh my God, there's this whole other portion. Alderaan is screwed. Like get more people in here. We've got a whole infestation. Um, and I think something
Or
like that actually would help out.
yeah, or possibly like for the operation boss that was added in there. I mean, some people were, complaining about it. It's a bit too easy or a bit too simple, but there's a lot of groups having trouble with it. But what they could do is maybe for after winning, or after downing the boss in certain modes, you then get access to other vendors or, um, I mean, I do like the reward system. I mean, some of the rewards are pretty. I mean, a lot of times they do the reskins, but they do are a bit unique, and have being legacy bound is kind of nice, and being able to get the mounts for what the hell's the new back mount without actually having to pay, cartel coins. You're getting
Yeah.
lucky. I mean, making those things obtainable is kind of nice, for the rewards they give, with the. But so I mean, I guess that it comes down to how much effort they actually want to put into it, and it just would be nice for them to, like you said, put a little bit more story to it, or find another creative way, not just to make it a daily grind for just the rep itself. I mean, especially for the reoccurring ones. Um, I mean, it's something they could possibly add into over time. So maybe hopefully BioWare will do something like that and add, because they've just been adding a bit more rewards. I haven't really seen them go back and upgrade an event or add anything new to it. But so if they get to the point where maybe they have 15 events and they only bring one of those 15 back every so often, then maybe I could see it having a better appeal for them just to make it somewhat quick, so you can have multiple types of events go through.
I'm just saying, don't paint trash gold and tell me it's a jewelry. You know, like like because for me that's all this is. It's gold plated trash. Dude, because get in there, that looks like a really cool. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, this cave looks amazing!" And anybody who hasn't done it, just go out there just for the cave alone. It just is impressive what they did down there. I just thought it's probably one of the most, other than McKeb in DFDP, I think it's probably one of the more beautiful places in the game. So
I like
I
how
think,
they.
but don't you get what I'm saying? I feel like it's painted trash because you get in there and you realize, oh, it's just dailies. There's no story. I mean, there's a story. The Rakghouls got there, you know. Alderaan and the Killiks are being infested. Um, but I don't feel like it's enough for me to continue doing it unless you give tiers to it, and I can start going to different areas. At least with the Gree event, I got to go to a different area and do a daily there. Not that it was much, but I got to go to a different area. It felt appealing.
Yeah, we'll go back to the tunnels. I do think they did a great job on the tunnels. Somehow it's dark and spooky, but yet somehow bright and vibrant with the
Yeah.
green color. So it was a nice contrast how they did that. Um, yeah, so we can just hope. I mean, the bounty hunter event was interesting. I did like how they do that implementation
But
because
I
there's so
still
many
feel like
different.
that bounty hunter
Uh,
event is trash to me because you go and then you do the same thing on every single planet, and then you can go and kill somebody.
well, but it gives you a little bit of lore behind them. You get the
A
little
little.
RP feel like you actually are doing. You get to interrogate different people. So if you just I mean, for the bounty hunter event, even not doing the rewards, it was kind of fun doing. I mean, again, I don't do it now much when it comes back because I got my max reputation for the items that I want to get. Every so often, I'll go out and do it because I mean, they are pretty interesting mechanics for how they do it. I mean, if you're not geared up, they could be a bit of a challenge. So, and it was just getting people to go all around the different planets as well
Yeah.
and it made for a little bit of PvP. So I mean, that implementation of getting people to go out and explore, I didn't mind it being a daily feel, and that it's kind of random. It kind of mixes it up, so you're not just fighting the same kind of mobs. So people that are doing it every day or having to do the kingpins, which you can only do once a month. Uh, every time you're almost doing a different one, you unlock a new character. So, in a way, that's kind of what you were talking about because you actually had to do the one type um, of dailies to then earn, the badges to unlock a
Yeah.
kingpin.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
in a
can give
way,
that.
that is actually kind of
I can give that one that to you.
so.
So that was in a way, yeah. But also, what I'm also thinking is, in this, I think what they did there, it was nice because each day I could do a different bounty. And so if I could do a different bounty, wouldn't it be cool if, and this is where I leave it. I think dailies are a good thing. It gives different content. So leading into our or not leading into our next subject, but just my feelings as we leave this subject is that either for one, new tiers, or maybe even just different dailies for each day, like random occurring dailies, so that you're not always getting the same daily. And what that would do is so say one day you're going to save somebody who's close to being infected, and another day you're going to kill somebody who's trying to infect somebody. And that switches up the mechanics of what you're doing, so it doesn't just feel like a bore the whole time. And maybe I think that might clear it up, and it might actually get me out there more than once. And like I said, this whole topic came from me thinking, how could BioWare get me to do an event more than once a week? And I think that might be one of the ways.
And before we move on from the event, real quick, I know you didn't get a chance to do the actual operation boss, but uh, it, basically the idea, and if anyone else hasn't done it so far as well, the idea behind the boss is it's pretty much simple. He just drops this pool on the ground, that basically if you stand in there, it's going to kill you. And so these pools keep stacking up, and the tanks has got to go and spread them around. So, I mean, if you got a coordinated group with 16 people, it's not too bad, but for just random people, it seems to be a challenge for, especially in hard mode for other people. So for those type of, events that are, um, it's a topic that we touched on in the past, where should they make it the casual, the operations casual for for casual players, or for the hard mode to actually make it something you have to grind for. So with these type of casual events, I mean, how do you feel that making it difficult and people are having problems on this type of boss?
This content is not for the hardcore gamer. It's for everyone. And if it was meant for the hardcore gamer, we'd see nightmare modes coming out for them. This is meant for people to go out and everybody be able to down the content, whether story mode or hard mode. I don't think that us bitching about whether or not this is good or whether or not they should make it harder is even, in my opinion, it's not really important because it's supposed to be for everyone to experience. That's what an event is for. If you disagree with me, by all means, tell me I'm wrong. I would, and I will comment on it in the next podcast. But moving on to our next subject, we had some GSF stuff this week. It is we had some new GSF patch release for the PTS.
So in our yellow text, um, let's see. Let's see. The first one is the new ship, the bomber type class. It's we talked a little bit about it last week, and I'm sure people know about the bomber. So, and it's just an interesting addition going in there. But one of the patch notes that I like that tied in with it is there's going to be a new weapon or a new component, the EMP missile, which will be available for the Quell and the Pike Strike Fighters.
Hmm.
So they're giving the MP is going to be able to counter the mines and drones dropped off by the bombers. So I think it'll be a nice we again talked about this last week. I think when we did our with Alpha Republic and on the test server about the bomber, how people thought it was overpowered. So I think this is really going to make people have to really pick their team composition. That they're going to have these. If there's two bombers, you're probably going to want to have one for each node. You at least want to have two or three strike fighters, with that ability
I just
to
like
be
the
able to
fact of
handle
how
that.
supportive it is. I mean, you have the chance with your drones to either drop them to restore the hull of nearby enemies, or you can make them attack drones that hurt. I mean, I'm sorry, you can either make them attack drones that hurt nearby enemies, or you can make repair drones that restore the hulls of nearby enemies. And wow, that totally changes everything, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, because you could have, again with your team composition, you can have one as a more, the attacking, and one as the defender. So, as one guy's defending the node, he can have his turrets, and while the other guys, while you guys are trying to take other ones, he can be there trying to heal the other players.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, with all these combinations, it's making the GSF really dynamic. It's
Yeah, I think it's
almost, I
great,
mean,
and I think that it's becoming one of the premier reasons people are coming back to play this game.
yeah, I mean, almost, I can kind of see it be like a MOBA, or the type of games that have like battles. You can have multiple different classes. So I mean, I could see them expanding to possibly like 5, 10 different types of ships, and
Oh yeah.
just making for some real interesting battles where you never know what the other team is going to pick, and you have certain things that counter it, and then you find people to get certain builds for certain type of ships with certain type of group builds, and
Well, on that actual topic, so I've been using Talon's Death Spear build that we have up on the website, and like not to toot the website's horn, I just want to straight up say that that build is amazing. He's got this Death Spear. It's for the Ocula. It's a build that he put up on the website. It's the Death Spear build for that ship, and if you just like tweak your ship to those specifications, by God, fear me enemies. Fear me enemies. I think I was like at like 13 kills on one of them. I was just having a blast. And maybe I exaggerate. I think maybe I was at 10. But you know us guys, we exaggerate.
of course.
The fish was this big, right? Yeah, you know what? I think
My
that
lightsaber's this big.
I would love to see the builds that are going to come out for this, especially for the healing, man. The support sounds like so much fun. I think I'm gonna be playing the bomber as more of a healer, or more of a a repair, and giving that a try when it comes out. So to talk on that
Well,
though, it seems like we're getting what, a team death match.
yep, new game mode, team deathmatch. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, that's where healing roles might really be beneficial as well too. Someone be able to drop some probes, and we're gonna have to see their efficiency and how well they will actually heal people as well. So, because a lot of people have to take their, or like to take their healing as one of their abilities. That way they can stay out in the fight a lot longer. So, having someone with a support class will possibly allow you to build for a bit more deadlier build and not having to worry about repairing your hull. If your buddy can repair it for you.
I just can't wait for the first person to be like, "This isn't deathmatch, people," and then like, "What? Oh, it is deathmatch. We're not playing hut ball anymore." No, I'm just kidding. I like what they did with this though. With the whole thing, it's a deathmatch team deathmatch. You get to go out, you get to kill things. They're talking about randomly occurring power ups. That sounds fun to me. I mean, powering yourself up, just like we get in some of the war zones. Um, and so we're talking about engine overcharge, doubles engines power regen rate, weapon overcharge, doubles blasters power regen rate, shield overcharge, doubles shield power regen rate, and damage overcharge, doubles damage from all primary and secondary non-drone weapons. And all power-ups will be indicated on the mini map for this death match. Here's what I'm saying. People sometimes hate death matches, but I think with how they are building these ships, it's not just for capture a node. I mean, you're talking about one squadron going against another squadron. We're talking. This is what we were talking about. You're talking about a war in space, basically. I think this is
Yeah, I
great.
mean, yeah, especially if you get two pre-made groups on each side, and you could just make for some, each people are an event, and you could just really have some really crazy dogfights and get some really heated battles going.
Yeah. And it's people sometimes. I mean, they dislike death matches because it doesn't take any skill. But I mean, with support classes that heal, with gunships that get to snipe, with the scouts that are like in your face with missiles, and the fighters that are just so crazy, just all over the place. I just don't see how this is a bad thing. This will be fun. I'm gonna be enjoying my first death match because this is like reading the Rogue Squadron books and then going out and doing it. You're talking about all numbers are against you. You shouldn't come back from this. And then going out, and I'm gonna try to stay alive the whole time. And if not, maybe I just won't spawn in. My team will be pissed off, but I'll be like, I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the deathmatch. The only thing I could think it's going to go either way and help or hurt the community. I mean, as of right now, most people play deathmatch. I mean, when they're no one really plays objectively. Everyone's trying to go for kills and get the highest score, and there's achievements based on it. So I'm guilty of it myself as well from time to time. So maybe this will get people's aggressions out. That way they can get all their killing out, and then the actual defensive objective-based games they can play and guard the nodes and actually try and capture points. Because a lot of times I've had good teams that we could have won. It's just we go and capture a node, and everyone just leaves to go capture another node, and then we have two nodes, but yet everyone leaves those to go try and capture the third node, and then we lose the other ones, and by that time to actually take them back, 'cause after a minute or two, they've racked up their score, and by the time the game's lost, when we've had better pilots and better, but they just weren't playing objectively. So, this is either going to ramp people up and make them always want to kill, or hopefully, get out their outlet and they can do their death match when they need to, and then play the objective based.
Right. Yeah, but talking about that, that leads into the next thing. We're getting records for Galactic Starfighter. So this might get people to start doing the right thing. So I think maybe what you're talking about people not doing the right thing. Once you start putting records behind it, you're going to get people to start maybe doing the right thing. Obviously, not everybody. Some people like to go out there and just kill, 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 kill. But if you've got 8,000 kills and a hundred deaths, right? Your losses are 10,000 losses and 20 wins. I mean, you're going to see what type of player you are. I'm going to look at somebody like that and be like, oh, you weren't helping your team. You were just out for your own. You were just killing. Or you have had the worst matchups ever for the. So, I think, though, that
Well,
it'll speak for itself when you start getting these records.
and what it might do as well, hopefully, is if they're actually keeping records on that, is if we have enough people to actually queue, that they'll be able to balance the teams and say, hey, these people have high win streak. Let's pit them against each other, or at the very least, if it's Imperial versus Imperial, let's take the top 4 players and put two of them on each team.
Yeah. I think this actually is leading up. This is exciting because once you start getting these battle records, I don't see why this can't turn into something that becomes like professional sort of. You talk about gaming a lot with pro gamers. I think something like this is. I mean, you talk about games like World of Tanks that has pro gamers that play it. I don't see why, if we get enough ships, enough builds in this game, that we couldn't have something within a game that turns pro. Whether or not it'll happen, whether or not we have the people, enough people to play and get into it, but all it's going to take is enough people streaming to get the hype up, and this could become something special within this game. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually found myself watching some YouTube videos of some of the fights and people doing their styles, and yeah, it's just I've never been a fan of watching like Warzone videos, and um, I've really watched the boss fight videos every so often to get some strategies. But I've actually found myself watching some of the the good pilots videos in GSF, and it's just fun. It's good to see their tactics as well.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
mean it's cool some
and
of the
yeah,
stuff
it's
they
just
do, just like zigzagging around. Like I've been watching them too, and you start to emulate like, oh, that's how you get away. Or you know why I watch it too? Because sometimes I don't know how somebody breaks my lock, and then I watch when they're breaking a lock, and then you can emulate them in order to do it. And I think that you learn by watching sometimes. I think this could be interesting. This really could be an interesting sport to watch online. Tell me what you guys think. Last of all, so the features in not last of all, but the features for the scoreboard are going to get a little bit more enhanced. We're talking about total performance, track stats, including kills, deaths, damage dealt, received, hit percentage, objective captures, and more. Also, earning a detailed breakdown of the requisition you've earned during a battle and how it was earned. Which is nice because sometimes I get a bunch and sometimes I get a little and I never know where it all came from, you know.
yeah, that I can definitely see that being handy. Yeah, I actually missed that one, so that's actually pretty cool. I mean, that was actually what we're just talking about. That you'll actually be able to see if someone was just killing or if they actually were trying to help and be objective. So, and then
Did
one
you
of
go
the other
further
objectives
down
that
on
they're,
this? I just saw this. So it looked
I
like, did you see
the,
the typing squad thing?
yeah, I saw. I think that's just so if you're in a group, you can type squad instead of group and talk to your.
Oh,
Yeah,
which
there is
if you're
actually
in
a
vent
lot of change.
together that, or if you're in team speak together, that doesn't really matter too much. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's definitely. We'll put a link up in our show notes so people can go out. We're just trying to pick out the top 10 most
yeah,
interesting ones, but there is a decent amount. Some of them are balance changes. Some of them are little minor tweaks. The other one was the auto roll functionality, which can you roll? Did I just not know you can actually roll in the game, or is it they just adding the roll because they're saying they're adding the auto roll function?
auto roll. Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
auto
Like
roll
in your on a ship?
Yeah, it says in the patch notes for GSF, auto roll functionality has been added. Press V by default to rotate the ship to its default. orientation. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
all it
So
means to bring it back on like track. So like you know how you can press A and D and you could like try to get
yeah, to flip
in and you
around.
can flip around. So basically that'll roll you back on track. So you're not all like flippity flopping around, which I could use sometimes because sometimes I know my teammates are going, "Oh my God, look at the retard in that ship down. What are you doing?" If they could talk to me on comms, they'd be like, "Were you drinking too much last night there, Rondo?" No,
Well, I love doing it
officer,
when I
I'm drinking right now.
a little bit of Corellian ale there.
Right. That's
Oh no, I love
that's
to do it
nice
when
though
I
because that could be used too to sort of like bring yourself back. I guess that's could be. I don't know. How would
well
you
be,
use that?
well two different ways. One, when I start off the fight, I like to spin around in circles, so it just looks cool. So so that would help me quickly get back on track so I can go and capture the node or
Oh,
do
okay.
what I need to. But secondly, how I could see it being useful is because in this game, the best way to turn is actually either turning, up or down into your ship. You're gonna get a little bit of better turning arc. So sometimes, if you're trying to spin away to the left, it's better, rotating your ship to the left so you can essentially be going up or down, in the direction that you want to be going instead of kind of arcing to the left a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So in those scenarios when you're having to arc to the left a little bit, sometimes you get disoriented and don't know if you're up or down or where the actual thing is. So in those cases when you're having to spin around those close fights, I could see that being handy. Just because a lot of times when you get disoriented, you're trying to run around, you end up crashing in this stuff. At least I do. I'm telling you, they need to add an achievement for that because I think I'd have max level by now.
Okay, so it looks like also that queuing for Galactic Starfighter no longer blocks character changes, but it still blocks the ability to. They didn't say anything about it not blocking the ability to upgrade your ship. So character changes though, you can change what your character is doing if you queue for Galactic Starfighter, or you can change what your tree, but it still doesn't say anything about upgrading. I think like why wouldn't you be able to upgrade while you're queued? Because to me, if I'm sitting there trying to upgrade my ship instead of queuing, that's longer queue times for everybody else. I think that right now with it not being server or cross server, that a good idea was to just let them upgrade while they're queued, so that more people are queued at the same time.
I'm guessing it had something to do where they implemented the same type of system where it locks you out of making your changes, whether you're in, you know, tech, quote unquote PvP combat. So they
Yeah.
probably were able to separate it and actually differentiate that you're in, ground PvP versus space PvP. So you can make the changes to your, to your ship when you're queued. Because I think I didn't see it in there, but I think you can't change your skill points when you're queued for GSF. So hopefully it'll work both ways.
Okay. Then dialogue for new purchases within the hangar has been enhanced to show the exact breakdown of fleet and ship requisition to be used. Several force fields have been removed from the abandoned shipyard level in domination mode. I'm pretty sure that that is the force fields on the sea in that one, where the force fields are encompassing that entire thing so that people are hiding too much. I mean, and it's really hard to get in on those turrets because of the blocking that's being done.
Yeah, and I think there was a few of them as well in the B node. Like there's like
Oh
one or
yeah.
two exit that looks like there's an exit, but it's blocked off by a force field. So that'd be nicer. Actually, might be kind of cool if it was like rotating, like a miniature golf thing where it would kind of turn and you could, you possibly crash into it, possibly not, but it was a good escape route.
Yeah, and they also did some components in crew. The increased range upgrade for Sabotage Probe now features a 10% increase instead of a 500-meter. Crew members not now animate within the hangar preview window. I guess they're I don't know what that means. We'll see. We'll have to
Yeah.
see with that one.
So,
Well, I'll come back with that one whenever I figure that out. Crew abilities, running interface, and wingman have had their the area of effect ranges increased from 1,000 meter to 3,000 meters, which I think that's actually pretty good because, 1,000 meters you got to be right on. Like you got to be running right with your mates. Like even 3,000 meters still really close, but I think that's a good change.
yeah, and there's also a change. I guess you can remove. I'm gonna actually put it here in my notes, but yeah, you can actually remove a ship from your list, so that way you don't accidentally select on it. You don't have to worry about selecting that one.
Haven't you always been able to
In
do
your
that though?
queue when you can move them around. I think some people don't didn't know that you can actually move
Uh,
around your ordering, so you can have your two best ships. But I think now you can actually remove them from that list. At least that's what the
oh,
patch
okay.
note says. So I'd assume that you couldn't remove them before.
Maybe it was locked
And I'm
because
guessing.
maybe with the amount of ships now, I think you can only have 5 activated at a time. So now now with the increase in ships, you can take them out.
Ah, okay.
So here's my last one, and I thought this was the most important one. Big. This is most important, absolutely most important. Players will now be invulnerable to all hull damage while in the Galactic Starfighter tutorial. So all of you people that were dying in Galactic Starfighter while playing alone, um, you can't die anymore.
Well, I mean, I guess because when it pauses you to.
Oh, come on. Who's dying in there? You know what? Somebody put a freaking thing down. I want to know if you've died. I want comments. If you died, somebody tell me that you died in the tutorial of Galactic Starfighter, and Big is going to give you 1,000,000 credits if you're on the Bastion.
No, I'll pass on that one.
Oh, okay. He won't know he's doing it, but he will. But write down something. Who needs incentive to just write a comment? Hey, I don't have to give you 1,000,000 credits. I take that back. Big will not be giving you 1,000,000 credits, and it's not up to him whether or not he does or does not. Just write a comment. I love that laugh you get when
That's
you're
right.
like, if I ever help you again, there, Rondo. Does anybody ever like? I think Big is just a vindictive person. You can hear it in his voice sometimes. I'm
Hey,
just kidding.
as long as you don't cross me, you'll never find out. We'll leave it there.
Well, I think that we've hit the major points tonight. Is there anything else that you want to hit before we end the night?
No, I know we never do our Reddit news, but heck, Reddit news was just filled full of Rakghoul people talking about it, the giving some tips out. So um, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
just
it.
didn't see it as
Um,
necessary, I think, this week.
but yeah, so like I
Ooh,
said, we're looking at
ooh,
some
ooh,
interesting
yo,
change.
Big, check this out. Okay, so you're not going to see it right away, but just continue to watching after it goes. Sorry, there's a thing on Twitch where I went to Wizard World today, and I got the coolest picture of Leia. She is strangling Jabba the Hutt, and she's in her slave Leia outfit. But I love it because the guy he's funny because he added tattoos to her. Uh, one says "Rebel Scum," haha, that's funny, whatever, right? The other one says "Daddy never loved me," and it has Vader's mask. The other one says "Pet my Wookie" above her Wookie, I guess you would say. The other one says the on her inner thigh, right? It says Nerf herder was here. Um, remember Alderaan, and let's see, that looks like some sort of peace sign with the Death Star. So the Death Star turned into a peace sign. I mean, it's really cool. Let me show. Like, I'm gonna take a picture and we'll put it up on the website when it goes live. But I'll also try to show it right here. It is a really cool picture. I know I'm getting the screen, but like I said, I'll take a picture of it so people can see, and I'll have that. Or I'm gonna see him again tomorrow, so I will get that artist's name with a website so you guys can go and order from that if you guys want to, because it is just an absolutely gorgeous. And I'll put up a couple other pictures that I got. Some of like I don't know if anybody likes Deadpool, but Deadpool fighting Wolverine, and my favorite of all, the Ninja Turtles actually killing the Foot Clan. like the old school comic book Ninja Turtles. I'm a super nerd, and I've been having a blast at Comic Con, and I'm going back tomorrow. Woo! Anyways, uh, that had nothing to do with SWOTOR.
Well, actually, it does because that's where our other two hosts are at. Are actually at the Comic Con, headed up
Yes,
there.
they are.
So that's why
They
they
are
didn't
here in
join us
Portland
today.
with me.
And I'm left all lonely by myself, not going to the Comic Con without them. So I expect you. I expect to see one of those posters in the mail. So tell Ignitia to
You know
bring
what?
or
If
tell
you
Ignitia
know
to
what,
bring me back.
I will buy one for you and have Ignitia brought back. Dude, it's gorgeous. Well, does your wife mind? Because it's a little risque, like it says "pet my Wookie" above her Wookie. For God's sake, it's a little risque.
Oh, damn straight she won't mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of other cool ones too. I'll take a bunch of pictures tomorrow. We'll put them up on the website of us in the podcast having fun. Anyways, thank you for catching us on episode 20 of Enmity Podcast. I mean, we would not be here without the viewers that come to our website, the viewers that catch us on Twitch when they can. I know we're a little wishy-washy on when we actually post to Twitch, so it's not that important. The people that come to YouTube, I mean, we're at episode 20. That's like a milestone to me. Next episode we'll be able to drink. Our podcast is can drink liquor after the next episode. So
Yep, we're gonna be legal. Does that mean we're gonna do a drinking show?
maybe we'll have a couple beers and like do like a whole drinking show and pop some confetti and whatnot. Because we all know how you like in-game confetti. Anyways, thank you guys for everything you guys have done. Reddit, all our viewers, everybody who's given us feedback. We've come a long way in 20 episodes, and we plan on coming a long way in 20 more. Have a great week. Remember, for you PvPers, if it's red, it's dead. And for all you PvE guys, remember we got great content right now. Enjoy your raids. Have a great week.
Take care and keep earning those credits.